We are on. Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm a great believer in Jesus, and I am recovering from drugs, alcohol, physical and mental abuse, and codependency.
Hi, I'm Ronnie, grateful believer in Jesus Christ, walking in recovery from self.
We're doing our video together over StreamYard because of the social distancing. We are respecting that. Um, Today, we're going to talk about sponsorship and how important it is, and um, just why it's important to have a sponsor. And if you have a sponsor and you have like more than a year clean or whatever, are you ready to sponsor somebody else? How do you like that, Ronnie? You like that? Is that good?
No, I don't like that. Well, yeah.
So I'll go first on what I think a sponsor should be and all that, or how a sponsor has helped my recovery. Um, I shared it yesterday on Celebrate Recovery of Riverside's page, but I'll share it again. Um, a sponsor was really important to me this round. I had never had a sponsor before in my previous attempts to get sober, hence maybe why I relapsed. I the last time I got sober, I had about 9 months clean, and I was doing the steps by myself. I did like one, two, and three, and when I got to four, I had like, because it said in big bold letters at the top of the NA steps, it was like, do not do step four on your own. Well, so I like was going out begging just random people to be my sponsor in St. Louis, and no one would be my sponsor. So I was like, screw it, I'll just do it by myself. And it actually led me into my bottom of bottoms. So this round, I found a sponsor in Celebrate Recovery, and she is currently still my sponsor, and I have 14 months clean. So I call her when I need advice, or if I'm about to make a bad decision or anything like that. She is a big part of my life today. Also, I wanted to touch base on how, like, even if you have a sponsor and you're a year clean, like I just said, has God led you or showed you who you need to help maybe sponsor? It's a thought to ponder and maybe pray about, because a big thing for me is I have 14 months now, and I have been asked a couple of times to sponsor somebody. And my biggest thing is I feel like I'm not. Either I'm too busy sometimes, or maybe I think I'm not good enough for them to sponsor them, or I'm scared to fail them or be a failure to them. And reading this step thing that I went through last night, it kind of helped me realize that, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, and we can just try to be there for people as best we can be there. And, I had a really good role model, so I feel like I am going to pray about that more. I'm going to ask God to show me and lead me to that person, and just try to help someone how I've been helped. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay. For me, this is just for me. This is my first time in recovery. I went to treatment for 101 days. Didn't know anything about recovery. I was new to this. I thought it was just trying to stay sober, but obviously that didn't work for me with 20 years of addiction. But I'm here to tell you how they told me early on, don't think that you're the only one going through it, okay? You're not unique. There's people in the same with the sponsor, okay? Don't try to be unique and think that you can handle this on your own. You know what I mean? What they taught me in treatment, what everybody teaches us, I haven't met anybody that is sober without God in their life. I have yet to meet one person. Maybe that's a possibility. I'm not sure. I just personally have not never met anybody sober consistently without God in their life. you need a sponsor, okay? And you need meetings. You never got this. You need to continue working on it. You need to continue working on yourself. But a sponsor got me sober, because with me, a sponsor, it started out with my best friend in recovery, okay? And me and him built this relationship. It was more than just a sponsor and sponsee. Um, we knew each other real well, and I think that's what you need to have a sponsor like that because he knows you. Like if it's just like a regular job, like hey, call me when something goes wrong. It's just like the old saying, call your sponsor before you go to a bar, you know what I mean? Not wait till you something bad happens, you know what I mean? Like I'm full of defects and I'm not if I only had to call my sponsor when something bad happens, I'm not gonna call him. I'm definitely you know what I mean? I'm definitely not gonna call him before I'm about ready to use. So what I do, only me personally, I talk to my sponsor every day. He didn't tell me to do this. I just call him every day. Hey, just to let him know where I'm at that day. You know what I mean? Like he knows me so good. When I get on the phone and then when I say hello and I'm not acting myself, what's going on today, Ronnie? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He knows me on a deeper level than a sponsor and sponsee. And also, I love how Celebrate Recovery does contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I was weirded out when I got presented it. My sponsor, my sponsor gave me a contract and said, "Look, this is how it's going to go down." He's like, "I can fire you and you can fire me." And I definitely don't want to be fired from a sponsor. You know what I mean? I want to continue my program. He's just like, pretty much, if you got to start going downhill, I don't even want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? But my sponsor has 32 years sobriety. Okay. And I don't get this because I don't do this. I don't give back. I don't give back for the glory. I don't give back for, you know, thank yous. I don't give back for any of the wrong reasons. I give back because God saved my life. So I feel like it's my duty to give back what was given to me, what they told me in treatment. Well, I have 26 months sober, okay? I want somebody that has years of sobriety, and my sponsor has 32 years sobriety. Like, how did you do it? Like, I want what you have, not objects, not nothing like that. I want the peace that he has, 32 years sobriety. And the one thing that I've learned of giving back that I've been learning about myself because I've been like a man that talked about, like, I don't, when I sponsor somebody, which it's coming to that time, it's going to be someone that listens, that, you know what I mean, that stays teachable. And also, I'm not going to pick a lot of sponsees. I have a hard time watching over myself. How am I going to take on numerous people? You know what I mean? I'm going to sponsor one person, because our whole goal is just to help that one. That is our whole goal. And how can I put my all into that person? When I got other guys over here. So, and I would have did that early on if I wouldn't have worked on my codependency because you know how we have this pride and we have this need of feeling wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, you get phone calls like 4 or 5 guys like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, sponsor, I don't need that. I don't need that today because I worked on my codependency, you know what I mean? I don't need that want to feel wanted and needed and stuff, and uh, forgive me, but worshiped. You know what I mean? Like, hey, people call me. I get no. I'm too busy for. But the whole goal is to find that one person and just to put my on and invest my time in that person. Like um I see a
Right.
lot of sponsors out here, and I get it, guys. Like there is a shortage of sponsors in this community, and that should let you know it takes a lot of courage to continue to stay sober, because there's not that many sponsors, and there's a reason, because there's not that many people that continuously find recovery. Um, but with that being said, just reach out, like pray on it. That's what I did. And I feel like my first sponsor went back out after 13 months of my sobriety. And I could have easily folded because I could have justified it in my head that he went back out, so I can. But what I did was I prayed through it, and God presented my sponsor right in front of me. You know what I mean? And I had enough courage to ask. But
Yeah.
I believe that you need a sponsor. Like all the people I try to help out, I try my best to encourage them to get a sponsor, because I believe that you need a. This is what I have. I have a sponsor. I have accountability partners, a lot of them, and I have spiritual mentors, that don't even work on recovery with me, to just teach me about the Bible, and that's helped me get 26 months sober. So thank you guys for listening. Mana?
I did want to say Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." That's something to think about because, we are here to help one another and we do sharpens iron. So, things that we can look at are, do you have people in your recovery who you can go to for advice? If not, why not? These are things you can ask yourself. If you don't have an accountability person or people established, who could you ask to be a part of your accountability team? Another thing, how are each of your, uh, have you thought about a sponsor or someone to sponsor you or be a temporary sponsor while you find another sponsor? You should not go past step 3 by yourself. Should not, really. So, we're talking about sponsor this week because spiritual inventory is coming up next week, or not next week, but the following week, because we're in month 4, which is inventory, or, doing a search, an inventory of yourself. So, this is a very crucial time. If you are following the steps and you are doing your steps and you're on step 3, you need to make sure you have accountability and a temporary sponsor or a sponsor. And just remember, we were not created to be on this journey of recovery alone. Ever are we supposed to be alone? And right now, that's really hard because we're isolated, but we have a phone, we have video chat. If anything, you can meet someone, but be that 6 feet apart, whatever. If you need that, then, find somebody you can do that with. But yeah, if you're doing the steps and you're serious about your program, then you need to be serious about getting accountability and a sponsor. It's not a joke. These are for real things that happen to people. If you think you can do this alone, I'm sorry. I personally couldn't. I've yet to meet anyone who has been able to do it alone. So, sponsorship is very important. Accountability is very important because sometimes you may not agree with your sponsor and need to talk to somebody else, and they can maybe be like, hey, I think your sponsor may be thinking this. Maybe they misunderstood you, or maybe you need to word that differently. Or they could just be like, your sponsor's right and you're just being a goofball, you know? So, and I'm good for that. I'm a good accountability for that. But yeah, things to think about. Who could you ask? Why haven't you? And to just do it because you really need it.
Also, if someone's watching this video, you can easily, if you don't have a sponsor, you can ask like whoever is your accountability partners, like right now. that have a sponsor, you can ask them, like, can you refer me to a sponsor? But don't do, like, I've seen it over and over. Like, some people wait for sponsors to ask them, hey, can I sponsor you? You know, it's another leap in recovery. Take that step of getting the courage of asking someone yourself. Like, there's been guys that, they brought up, like, they would bring up, like, man, I wish, Ronnie, are you sponsoring? But they never asked me, like, if they asked me, that would present me and Amanda walk our walk by faith, and if that person one day asks me, and I feel it's right, then I will say yes. But just get courage in you, that be able to ask somebody, like, for help. It's just another step of recovery, and the 12 steps are very important. Like, I get it. 2 years ago, you would have presented 12 steps to me, I would have been like, I'm just staying sober. Yeah, I was wrong on that. I had to get through all my baggage and my pain from the past to be able to move on with my future. And now today I can honestly say I got my family back into my life because of the 12 steps. I have went and talked to each person I've hurt. They no longer have a resentment towards me. I was able to move on from everything from my past because I feel like it was a weight lifted off my shoulders when I finished that 12 steps. And you want to be, well, first of all, you want to pick a sponsor that walks their talk, like, we know we've been in addiction, for so long. Well, I'm used to reading drug dealers, I went to school of hard knocks for, trying to who's walking there talking, who isn't. So just pray on it, and God will present that person to you. That I pass, Amanda.
All right, so let's say the serenity prayer and see each other Monday. God, grant me the
Grant me
serenity
the serenity to
to
accept the
accept the
things I
things I
cannot
cannot
change,
change,
the
the
courage to
courage to
change the
change the
things I
things that
can,
can,
and the
and the
wisdom to
wisdom
know
to
the
know the
difference.
difference. Living
Living
one day
one day at a
at a
time,
time,
enjoying
enjoying
one
one
moment at a
moment at a
time,
time, accepting hardship
accepting hardship as a pathway to
pathway to
peace,
peace, taking as
taking as
Jesus
Jesus
did
did the
the
sinful
simple
world
world
as it
as
is,
it
not
is,
as I would
as I
have it,
would have it,
trusting that you will
and that
make
you
all
can make
things
all
right
things right
if I
if I
surrender to
surrender
your
to
will,
your will.
so that I may be
You
reasonably
can make
happy
me
in
happy
this
in this
life
life
and
and
supremely happy with
extremely
you
happy
forever
with
in the
you.
next.
Amen.
Amen.
Sorry, I always say extremely instead of supremely or whatever he says. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good day.
Hold on.